What's going on, Wise Take Nation? This is an NBA DFS podcast. I'm your host, Paulie D, and I'm joined by Johnny the Freak. What's happening, Johnny?
Not much, man. Just this weird slate tonight. A lot of interesting plays came up today. So, man, a little different, but we got a good slate tomorrow, and hopefully we can crush it. I don't know where I'm going to finish at tonight because it's still a little bit early, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got that Suns game ending. It's pretty much a blowout. Could use a little bit of Marquez Chris and some more Alex Len. He was low owned, and some Troy Daniels. So we'll see. Needing Marquez Chris to do anything late in the game is a really, really bleak and lonely feeling. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it was an interesting slate tonight. AD didn't get there. Russ didn't get there. The Atlanta-Utah game was one of the bigger spots. So we'll see. But we do got a nice, 8 games tomorrow?
Yeah, we got an 8-game slate tomorrow, which looks good.
Yeah.
And the one thing is a lot of those Clipper guys tonight we didn't mention didn't get there either tonight. So,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Lou Williams let people down, but he was lower owned than we expected, at least on DraftKings, 10%. We got some house cleaning contest winners from last night. The Nerlens Noel, Joe Baldino twins birthday special contest. Two guys won, Jason Gargiulo and Jordan Jacob. Email contact@wisetake.com, and we'll get you set up with that free MLB. Noel ended up with 28.2, and they both guessed 28.8. So congratulations, and enjoy that first month of MLB, which is going to be awesome. Basically, what's today? 21. We got 7 days till MLB. I know 8 days. 8 days. I know everyone's just as excited as I am. The Wise Tech content's going to be real good this year. So let's jump in, man. Game by game? You want to do game by game? I don't know if we have any lines on these yet.
It's totally up to you, man. It's 8 games, so whatever you want to do, I'm down to do.
All right, we'll game by game it. Let me see if Vegas Insider has any lines on these. While I pulled that up, NASCAR this weekend, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Martinsville Speedway. This might be the weekend Cash blows it all out. He was up there again this week, and then I think late in the race he fell. He said he lost 10% of what he bought in or something like that. But guys have been winning in NASCAR for us, so jump in, man. You don't even need to watch it. It's probably better you don't watch it because that's a volatile sport. But it's definitely a fun DFS one. Check that out if you have the time. All right, let's see. I know the first game is Toronto visiting Cleveland. I do have a line, which is interesting. I got Toronto -1 and over-under of 226.5. Toronto has nothing to play for. They gave DeRozan the night off today. Van Vliet's health will be in question. Possibility they give Lowry the night off tomorrow. If not him, maybe another starter, Joval, Ibaka. What are your thoughts here? And for Cleveland, we got Nance already ruled out, Korver already ruled out, and then we'll see if Kevin Love plays, and we'll see the status of Rodney Hood. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, so this is when the end of the season, as we're getting approaching the NBA, it gets pretty wild, and you start to get a lot of guys rested. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was rested over on the Toronto side for sure here. I think if I was going to attack this game here, for me, it would be, someone that's already been rested. So maybe DeRozan tomorrow. And I would always take a shot on LeBron. I think LeBron is just in his own world right now. He can get there almost any night. So if I was going to play anybody, those are the two guys I would go to. And then maybe for some value, depending on what Kevin Love's minutes are at 6,400, he can get you there on a 25-minute limit. If he's going to be at 25 minutes, I'd probably take a chance there. And especially if Ibaka's out or one of the bigs are out. And I think it's worthwhile to take a shot on like a Zizic with some of the bigs out here. I think it's a good opportunity for this dude. He can get production in a couple of minutes here. He can get you a value. So that's where I would go. I'd go to the cheaper guys, the underpriced guys there, or probably LeBron on Cleveland side. And then probably DeRozan and Maybe if Van Fleet's healthy, maybe him, but I would probably be really DeRozan would be the guy I'm looking at.
What's your price on Kevin Love?
Kevin Love is 6,400, so he's priced at where he was when he came back, but I think at 25 minutes I can get there. So I would go there at 25-minute restrict. Anything less than 25 minutes I can't play on my DraftKings.
Yeah, and on FanDuel the party's over. He is no longer 3-5. Jumped him up to 7,300. I would need him to be playing more than 25 minutes as well. Although, he had 30% usage in 24 minutes, went for 36. If he's a full go, and I think they need him with how depleted they are, it's a good matchup for him here. Stretch fours against Toronto. LeBron's usage did not go down with Love back, so you can expect him to be fine if you want to go up there. He is 12-8 on FanDuel, so price came down $300. That's still a lot of money. I got to look into more about how important this game is for the Cavs or not, but potential preview to the Eastern Finals. So, we'll see if both teams are as full go as possible. I could attack this a little bit. We'll have to see the injury situation for tomorrow. Off the top of my head, if one of those guards miss, Lowry or DeRozan, then DeLon Wright definitely becomes interesting to me. 4-5 on FanDuel. Has been playing really well lately, so I'll definitely jump on that. And then if any of the starters do miss, then, we'll see like one of these backups, Siakam, Van Fleet, even Podol. All those guys could definitely be in play here. But,
I like the Siakam and the Podol call. Both of them have good history against the Cavs, and if they were to get in the starting lineup or one of the bigs were to miss, they'd get more minutes. I would be definitely interested at their low price to take a chance on them.
Gotcha. Also, before we jump to the next game, PGA this week. It's a little different. There's 2 tournaments going on. There's one that's a match play that starts tomorrow, Wednesday. Cash and DFS will be doing content for the Punta Cana Resort contest that starts Thursday as usual. So don't get worried if you thought it starts tomorrow. Cash's content will be for the Punta Cana Open as opposed to the match play one. Just in case you guys were wondering, we just found that out. So let's move it on. Definitely injury is going to impact how we look at that game for Cleveland and Toronto. Next game we got, no line here. Memphis, another team injury riddled. We'll have to see. Taking on Philadelphia 76ers. Tyreek Evans probable. He screwed everyone last slate. Marc Gasol probable. We'll have to see. But what's your thoughts here on a first look?
Yeah, I don't think I can play anybody from Memphis. I mean, they're just, the shenanigans is ridiculous. I don't want to lose money. I want to play more secure games. I know that the players are going to play and get minutes, so probably going to pass on that. I think this game's going to be a blowout anyways with Philly. The only, I think, piece that I would probably take on this, just because of a price play, would be the Dario Saric at 5,900 tomorrow. I think he's had good history and he's cheap enough to play. But everybody else, I'm probably going to fade in this game, unless it's backups, maybe a little bit of TJ tomorrow or something like that. But I'm not really going to play any of these guys that are worth any money.
Yeah, definitely. Even if they gave us Tyreek Evans is ruled in before the slate, I'd be nervous. And clearly Memphis looking to tank. Not very comfortable playing any of their expensive players. Backups, that's a different story. If Andrew Harrison plays, I could take a look at him, especially if Tyreek or Marc Gasol are out. And then the rest of these guys, it all depends on who's playing or not. J. Michael Green, 6,300 on FanDuel. If Gasol were to be out again, I'd go back there. We could look at Jarrell Martin. We really got to see who's playing, who's not. Chandler Parsons actually looked pretty good last game. See how many minutes he's going to play. But yeah, on an 8-game slate, I think we can mostly cross this one off. Philly guys I expect to do well, but the game just might not be close long enough. I expect that line to come out pretty high. So we'll have to see for tomorrow. Obviously anyone on Philly's probably viable at this point. We just got to see, Embiid without Gasol would be a phenomenal spot with Gasol there. I probably wouldn't have to do it. We'll have to see how the injuries play out. End of the year, like who's playing, who's not, who's gonna play for real, who's gonna tank. All that really matters. So it's just something we can't really give too much of an opinion on without knowing. Next game, another one with some injuries. We got the New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, traveling to Miami. Face the Heat. We got Whiteside questionable. I'm thinking still out. And Moutier is questionable for the Knicks. That would open up some interest for me with some of the backups. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so the guy who's going to get the most usage here, the guys we're looking at, it's going to be like, for me, would be Goran Dragic and James Johnson. Those are the guys I like here. James Johnson's just get a little too expensive, but I still think you can go there. If you think this game stays close, you can definitely play Goran Dragic. I just don't know how competitive this game is going to be with the Knicks. So, I don't know if I can.
Did Nectat get a big price boost after that monster?
Yeah, he did.
What's his price?
He's at 62 now.
62. Wow, that's
yeah. So it's a big number, but I mean he can get there. It is the Knicks, So, I just don't know. I mean, if we get the news that Moutier is going to be ruled out, then I might take a chance on Burke. I'm not really on Nitty. I just don't think he's that good. He's not a scorer. He's not a guy that I'm looking at. I can maybe take a shot on like THJ on New York, but it's tough. Like it's just a lot of blah. I think the guy that I would be most interested, if there is somebody ruled out and he's going to start, would be Beasley. This is a revenge game for Beasley. This is the team that originally drafted him, and Beasley can definitely get there. And he's priced down a little bit. He's like 5,900 tomorrow. So I could take a shot on Beasley tomorrow, just depending on who plays and who doesn't tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. For the Heat, it's going to be the usual suspects. Dragic, 7K on FanDuel. Point guards versus the Knicks. Like that a lot. Got to see what the line comes out at and if there's any chance we think this game stays close. Bam Adebayo, 4,300. DraftKings, on FanDuel, I like that. Nectat's up to 55. Olynyk's up to 6K. Olynyk looked phenomenal that last game. Definitely all these guys on the Heat are in play. It's just going to come down to what kind of build you want to make. Does it stay close? Does it not? I don't think I'd play Nectat in a blowout kind of build or Dragic. But if the game does stay close, a lot of these Heat will definitely pay off. On the Knicks, Trey Burke. If Moutier misses, I'm going to be all over Trey Burke. He'll be taking a ton of shots. I can definitely get down with Beasley. Like you said, revenge spot. He's got a lot of revenge spots, but this is the original team that drafted him and gave up on him. He's been getting a ton of usage and a ton of minutes, so I can definitely get behind that. Kyle O'Quinn, a little expensive, but I don't mind him here. It looks like the Knicks are just not going to play Cantor much more than 20 minutes. It's a shame because it's another phenomenal spot. If you're building multiples, maybe you throw 5% on Enes Kanter just because at 5'9", if he were to get 35 minutes, he'd go off. But, with the Knicks, it's, if Moutier were to get ruled out, then Frank Nitti and Trey Burke especially would be interesting to me. And then really there's no one else outside of Beasley I'm really looking to play. And like I said, on the Heat, it's, a close game build, a blowout build. But if I'm only building one team tomorrow, unlikely many of these guys make it either. Moving on over. Next game we got Charlotte Hornets visiting the Brooklyn Nets. I got Brooklyn as a -1 favorite. 221.5 over under. The only guy I think right now in question is Nick Batum, who's a game time decision, and Dante Cunningham, game time decision also on the Nets. What are your thoughts here?
We also have Cody Zeller questionable, and we have Michael Carter-Williams out.
Yes, Michael Carter-Williams out. And Cody Zeller, good call.
Yeah, so for me, I'm not really interested in any of these big dollar plays anymore. Like you just don't know what's going to happen, who they're going to rest. The guys that I'm really going to look at are going to be, the cheaper plays. Like I might take a shot on Monk tomorrow. for a cheaper price, especially if Batum's out. If Batum's out, you can take another shot on Lamb. So those guys will probably be pretty chalky. The guys I really like on Brooklyn would be like Karis LeVert. I like him. I like Crab. Those would be the two guys I'd focus on, as well as Ronis Hollis-Jefferson. Ronis Hollis-Jefferson has just been playing phenomenal. Got a bit of a price increase at 6,800, but he's gotten there in this matchup before, and so has LeVert and Crab. They've all done really well in these matchups in the past. I think all those guys are in play. And then, I can't pay for Kemba Walker at 8,700 on this slate, and I can't pay for Howard at 8,400, knowing that either one of these teams have anything to play for. I would prefer to go down. So that's really it for me. If I don't, and I don't even know if I'm going to go to any of these guys, but the one I really like here, I think my favorite play in this whole game is going to be Ronis Hollis-Jefferson.
What's Jeremy Lamb's price?
Jeremy Lamb got priced up. He's 5,400. So it's not a favorite price. I prefer to go to Crab tomorrow at 5,000.
Yeah, 6,600 on FanDuel. That is ridiculous. Will not be playing Jeremy Lamb at 66. Obviously, only if Batum were out would that even be a consideration. Sure, someone on the Nets, especially if Cunningham misses at the forward position, it's just take your guess which one. You got Crab, Hollis-Jefferson, Damari Carroll. Don't mind Crab. He's 5'4" on FanDuel, a little more expensive. I think I'd rather try him on DK. But I'm going to take a shot on my boy Malik Monk again here. I think they're going to give him some more minutes down the stretch. Guy produces when he plays. He's now 3.9 on FanDuel. What do you see for him on DraftKings?
Yeah, so I like him a lot, and he's only 3,500. So if I need cheap value tomorrow, I think he's going to get some run against this Brooklyn team. I think they're going to start, the next, maybe this game is the game, but if not, with the next 2 or 3 games, they're going to give him some more run. Yeah,
if Batum misses, I think he'd be in line for more minutes. Last 3 games, he played 16, 23, and 15 minutes, but the usage is phenomenal. 23, 32, and 33. Took 11 and 16 shots the last 2, 4 threes and 12 the game before that against the Knicks. This is definitely a value guy I've been on and will continue, especially if Batum were to miss.
And the one thing I would say as well is, he's gone up for 24 and 23 fantasy points the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So he's gotten there. With Batum being out, you could definitely play this guy for the cheap. Mm-hmm. He'll get you to value. So I like the play tomorrow.
Yeah. And then if you're playing him, theoretically, it's a blowout build. Doesn't have to be, but you could throw a Frank Kaminsky in there, especially if Zeller's out. He's 4K on FanDuel. It's a fine spot for him, too. And then
you might even get a little bit of Willie Gomez tomorrow.
Yeah, Willie Hernan Gomez went off. I think there's a lot of merit to just grabbing the value on Charlotte and rolling with it, and seeing if both those guys get good minutes, they could definitely go off here. And there's merit to a close game build. It seems like the Nets are in a close game every time. D'Angelo Russell would be a great play here, especially with Batum out. And, it's a phenomenal spot for Dwight Howard, Kemba Walker, or any of those guys. Kemba's 8.7 on FanDuel. I don't like that price. But if this game were to stay close, I think there'd be a lot of fantasy goodness in here. Definitely worth consideration. And, we'll see what kind of news we get, especially on Batum. Next game we got is the LA Clippers on a back-to-back going into Milwaukee. Milwaukee is 4.5-point favorites, and we got a 226 over-under. What do you got here?
Yeah, so if you like revenge, you want to look at Eric Bledsoe. This is the team that originally drafted him, so you can go there at 7,400. A little bit expensive, but against the Clippers, anybody can get there. I was really, when I heard about this game on the slate, before I even opened the slate, I was just hoping that Giannis was priced in the 10,400 again or something like that, so I could play him, just lock him in. But he got a price increase 11-1. He's a great play tomorrow against the Clippers. Clippers against forwards, I love it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there at his price tomorrow, so I might just go down to like Middleton or Bledsoe. But I think all 3 of those guys are in play in this matchup. I wouldn't put more than Giannis by himself or like Middleton by himself or stack it with Bledsoe. I wouldn't do more than 2 of those guys together, but I think they can Maybe Bledsoe and Middleton together can get you there. And then on the Clippers side, it's going to have to be the usual suspects. Lou Williams didn't get you there today. Maybe he gets you there tomorrow. I like DJ a little bit tomorrow. Milwaukee's not so good against the bigs. And I think you could take a shot on Austin Rivers again. But that's really it for me. I wouldn't probably take any chances on any of these fringe guys on the Clippers. But maybe we can look at Brandon Jennings if we think this game is going to blow out with the Clippers being on a back-to-back. But that would probably be it for me.
This is a 3-4 for the Clippers, and they've fallen like 3.5 back now. They're the 10th seed. They might be throwing in the towel. They gave up pretty early to Minnesota today, and Sean Kilpatrick played 20 minutes off the bench. Definitely notable. Montrezl Harrell got 22. I think there's some merit to that. They're 3-4 for the Clippers. They're going into Milwaukee on the road. I think they could get beaten pretty badly here, and you get some blowout run from Sean Kilpatrick at min price, Montrezl Harrell very cheap, and then I don't mind Brandon Jennings in that kind of build. Sort of a revenge spot for Kilpatrick. He had a cup of coffee in Milwaukee, didn't agree with the coach, and then the coach got fired. Still didn't get too much playing time, but if he gets the minutes, he's going to take the shots, and I think that's another interesting deep value play tomorrow. If the game were to stay close, Tobias Harris, he's a fine play. DeAndre Jordan discount, and he's just been balling lately. Centers against Milwaukee is always a good thing. Then on Milwaukee, Giannis, Middleton, Bledsoe, they're all fine. Let's see what Giannis's price is. What's his price over there?
He's 11-1.
11-1. If you're going to play Giannis, in my opinion, you got to play like a DeAndre Jordan or Tobias Harris or Austin. Giannis ain't going to get there unless this game stays close. A lot of signs point to, that not happening for the Clippers. So if you're going to play Giannis at that big price tag, I think you got to run it back with some Clippers for sure.
Paul, one thing I want to throw out there, just so you know, that Kilpatrick just signed another 10-day contract with the Clippers.
Yeah.
So he got out there. He was one of the first ones off the bench today.
Yep.
So they're giving him a little bit of run there. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. And then that's my point is if the Milwaukee has a double-digit lead into the half, and it continues into the third, they may just give up and give these other kids some run. So I think it's definitely a play with some upside tomorrow that nobody will be on. You'll get Kilpatrick at 1%, that's for sure. And then if you're going to play the Stars, I would definitely be looking to stack. Next game we got is the Denver Nuggets -9 traveling to the Chicago Bulls, over-under of 222.5. Obviously, the Bulls, we got to see who's in, who's out. I got Dunn right now listed as out. Not even sure if that's official or if that was from the last game. Levine with a game time decision tag. This is another one of these teams that doesn't want to win, that we have to dig into a little deeper than usual and see who's playing. But what's your thoughts on the first look?
Yeah, so we got Dunn. He's been ruled out already for tomorrow's game. We have Gary Harris out. Zach LaVine, he went through non-contact portions of Tuesday's practice, so he might be able to play tomorrow. He's questionable right now. Markkanen's got a question mark tag. He was same thing. He was a non-contact participant in practice, so he might be able to play. And then you got Robin Lopez, who's questionable. I think it's just old. Let me see. Yeah, he's just questionable because of old. They're not sure if they're gonna play him.
You meant Robin Lopez, right?
Yeah, Robin Lopez. Just they're waiting on seeing if the other guys are healthy or not. So, so really here for the Chicago Bulls, they're tanking. You got to play a guy that's young. I wouldn't play anybody else. They showed us they dangled the carrot at us with Denzel Valentine to let him go wild on Cleveland, and then they cut his wings against an even better matchup against New York, and he got no run. So I'm just really afraid to take any of these guys. Any Chicago Bull that you take is a fringe play at best. You just don't know what you're going to get. You really don't. For me, I figured out the plays I would go to are going to just be the necessity plays. I think where they're the weakest at are going to be at the big. So I think with Vonleh, his price being dropped down to 4,100, I think that I might take a shot on him against Denver with Denver being so bad against the bigs, I would probably go there. And then I think that out of all the point guards that are young, I think this Blakeney, I think he's the safest. I think he's going to get the blowout run, which I'm sure this game's going to get blown out. And I think he'll get a little bit more run because he's the least experienced guy, and he's the cheapest at 3,900. So I think, with all the other Chicago Bulls like Payne being priced up and Valentine being priced up, I think those would be the guys I would lean to. Is just the cheap guys on Chicago, where I feel like their minutes are pretty safe with blowout. And then on the Denver side, it's really, really challenging because they have a lot of talent like Jokic who can get there in like 20 minutes against this bad Chicago team. But I don't see them getting 4 quarters here, so I don't know if I could pay 9,600 tomorrow. But if you think that he can get there in a couple, in 25 minutes like I do, then maybe take a shot on him. Millsap's even priced up at 6,300. I don't know if I can go there. I think the guy that I would lean on, he's had the best history of all these guys, would be Will Barton. I think I'd go there, but he's a little expensive at 7,000. But I can see that. Or taking a shot on like Devin Harris in a blowout, and he's been playing well. He got a lot of run against Miami, and he had a really good game. Maybe go there. Or even to a guy like Trey Lyles, who's really cheap at 3,600. So you can get Devin Harris at 3,800 tomorrow against Chicago, who got a lot of run. And then Trey Lyles is too talented for his price. If there's a blowout and they get some run tomorrow, $3,600, like you can do a lot worse.
Yep. Another one, Denver, right? They're the 9th seed looking in right now, the Western Conference playoffs. Utah, the 8th seed, loses tonight to Atlanta. They were 14-point favorites. They were at home. Atlanta shorthanded. Like, how does that happen? And that was the game that you ended up needing tonight if you wanted to win a big GPP. So, like, all these games, the Knicks, the Toronto, where we expect big spreads and blowouts, like, there is merit to stacking them up and hoping it stays close. I don't think this one will, but I didn't think the Utah one today would either. So if you do think it stays close, like, who's carrying it on the Bulls? It's got to be, Cameron Payne, Bobby Portis, or, Valentine. And then who's doing it for then that, in that situation, Jokic is a smash spot for him. I would love Will Barton. He's 7,700 on FanDuel. It's expensive. Jamal Murray's 7,500. He'd be viable with Harris out right now. So, if the game were to stay close, all these guys would be viable. If it blows out, then yeah, I'm with you. Trey Lyles, he's probably the only Denver backup I'd have a lot of interest in. And then for the Bulls, yeah, like Blakeney, especially in the blowout. Maybe you look at Cristiano da Silva. He had pretty good play in the minutes he got last game. Maybe in Nwaba, but we got to see who's playing, who's not, and then decide if you think this game has any chance of staying close. Next game we got is another one with no spread. We got the Indiana Pacers traveling to play the New Orleans Pelicans. While you're talking, I got to look this up. I don't know how many games in how many days this is for the Pelicans, but it's another back-to-back. I think another 3 and 4. This has got to be like 7 games in 9 or 10 days. I'm going to take a look while you go. What do you like here?
Yeah, so this is a really, really tough one here because of so many games in a row. But, I think that this is a good Ian Clark spot again. Holiday was sick today, but I think someone's going to get popped tomorrow. They don't like to play Rondo on back-to-backs, heavy minutes, or at all. So he might get popped tomorrow. AD might even get some rest here pretty soon here. He got hurt in the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, and he came back in the game today. AD did, but you never know. Maybe that flares up tomorrow, and he's got a bruised knee or shin or whatever it was, and he can't play. You might see that tomorrow. So something weird might happen in this game, but I think my favorite play is going to be Ian Clark for his price and what he's able to do. And I like on the Indiana side, I really like Miles Turner tomorrow. I think he's in a good spot here. And I can even take a shot on Lance Stevenson's pretty cheap. I like him tomorrow. Like Collison, I was on him a couple days ago, but I don't really like his price today. I think of this matchup with Rondo, he can get there, but I don't know if I'm willing to take a chance tomorrow there with all the other values. So I think my real preferred plays here are going to be Lance Stevenson and Miles Turner on the on the Pacers side on the Pelicans. It's really going to just be like the blowout guys or the lower price guys like Clark. Clark showed me something today. I was actually really impressed with him, so I'm going to go there.
What's AD's price?
80's 11-1 tomorrow. 11-5. 11-5.
12-1 on FanDuel. Big discount from what he's been on FanDuel. Again, if this game were to stay close, and I think these are two teams that are going to be playing to win, AD, this is a smash spot for him. I like what Darius Collison's been doing. We like guards against New Orleans. Lance Stevenson, he's 4-1 on FanDuel. I'll go right back there. We were on him last game. Love what I've been getting out of him lately. This is probably a decent spot for Thaddeus Young. When he gets multiple steals, he usually goes off. Big pace-up spot. I don't mind that. Victor Oladipo, he's 8-8 for the Pacers. I can always throw a dart there. Not sure how he'll shake out with the other expensive guys on this slate, but if you're stacking this game, I'd probably include him. We'll have to see Drew Holiday's status. This is 4 games in 5 days. Very rare that you have this due to the rain leak scheduling. They've got 4 and 5. So today you saw Mirotic, Ian Clark, and Diallo play over 20 minutes off the bench. If Diallo's going to get those kind of minutes, he's definitely worth a look here. Big smash against the Pacers. He's 3,500 on FanDuel. At 20 minutes, you can project him for something like 1.25 points per minute. You'd be looking at 30 plus FanDuel points. Possible 10x situation. Definitely interested there. I don't mind the Miles Turner call. He's 6'8 on FanDuel. Little expensive, but it's worth consideration. Bojan Bogdanovic, another guy that'll be low owned, you could take a stab at. Wouldn't play him and Stevenson together. But if Stevenson were to struggle or get in foul trouble, maybe Bojan picks up some additional minutes. But I definitely have some interest in Diallo, Mirotic, Ian Clark for sure. The secondary group guys for Pelicans. And if Drew Holiday were to play, I'd have interest there. Don't think I'll go to Rondo. I expect him to be popular. He's only 5'4", so he's going to be really popular tomorrow. I'd rather play Ian Clark and jump off the Rondo chalk after a smash game. Probably it, but I definitely have interest in Check Diallo tomorrow. Him and Ian Clark. What's Clark's price on FanDuel? 4K, a little higher than I like, but I'll definitely be considering like a secondary unit build for this game. Last game on the docket, we got the Washington Wizards traveling to San Antonio. I got San Antonio as 5-point favorites and a 203.5 over/under. What do you got for this game?
Yeah, so this one we got Kawhi Leonard's going to come back soon, but he's still not going to be available for this game. We still have John Wall out, and that looks like it. So where I'm going to attack this is if I'm going to go anywhere with San Antonio, it's going to start with LMA. He's a little bit priced up at 8,800, but this is a good matchup for him. Washington's not really good against power forwards and centers, so I like this spot for him. And then I like DeJounte Murray, active rebounder. I like this. He can get in there, get some extra rebounds. I would go there, and I would take a shot here on Danny Green again. He's a good shooter. I like shooters against Washington. I like him. He's pretty active. And then the last guy I would go with on this team would be Kyle Anderson's been like a staple of mine in my lineups lately. I like him. I would probably go there over like Patty Mills or something like that. And then on the Washington side, Brad Beal is probably going to be in play tomorrow for me at 8,600. It's probably my favorite play here besides Markieff Morris. And I could probably play a little bit of Satoransky. I don't really like his price at 54, but against San Antonio, he's definitely in play. And then, okay, Rudy Gay. Hit or miss with Rudy Gay. He's coming off the bench. His minutes are up and down, but if he gets some run tomorrow at 4,400, he can definitely get you there.
Yep. Yeah. Kyle Anderson was like the first name I looked at. He only played 13 minutes. Is that his last game against Minnesota? No, that wasn't his last. But 13 minutes 2 games ago. And then let me pull up his last game, which was yesterday against Golden State. They kind of won controllably. Played 22. So, like, the minutes do concern me a tad with him. But I like the price and I like the upside, a game that they're going to want to win. So I could definitely take a shot there, but not going to be like an all-in situation because the minutes are unstable. And, Rudy Gay only played 12 minutes, but he crushed in those 12. Like, I wouldn't play those guys together. I would, play one or the other. I think you got to look at LMA. He's, driving everything right now, getting all the usage, 20-plus shots, double-digit rebounds. Should do the same here. What's his price on DraftKings? I got him.
LMA?
Yeah,
he's
88. I got him at 97 on FanDuel. That's a little high. 88. That's even high too for what he's been. Good matchup though. Power forwards like him against the Wizards is a fine spot. I think Otto Porter's worth a look here. He's 73 on FanDuel. If he gets hot from outside, I don't mind that. Markieff Morris, a bit of a tougher matchup. He's been doing well lately. This could be a good Danny Green spot. I think you mentioned him as well. His minutes have been much more secure of late. I can definitely get behind some of that. Tomas Satoransky, he's a guy that he's going to need some steals and blocks. And with DeJounte Murray getting time, that's definitely a possibility. He's only 5'8" on FanDuel. I don't mind that. But I don't love a ton here. Brad Beal's 76 on FanDuel. I like that price tag, but tough defensive spot. I think if anything, I'd be looking more on the Spurs side and really only look to have like 1 or 2 pieces of this game, if any. I think it'll stay close, so I think you're going to want some. I don't know if I'd fully stack it up, but there's got to be 1 or 2 pieces in here. One of those forwards on the Spurs, whether it's Kyle Anderson or Rudy Gay. Danny Green I do like, and Tomas Satoransky probably my favorite spots here, and I don't mind Otto Porter. So that's going to do it. Let's do some top threes. Before I do that, Cash and DFS did text me and said, he's going to be doing the content for the Corrales Punta Cana, but if you are playing the World Golf Championship, do not play 2 guys in the same bracket. Guaranteed to lose that way. You'd have to get the winner in each group if you want to win. He also says play the Indian Tiger Woods. He's about to take over the golf world. And he said to take a look at Fertelli. He went to college here, wherever this Dell Technologies matchup is going to be. So Cash and D, even though he's driving a truck right now, hard at work, he wanted to let the nation know if you're playing that Wednesday, Golf Slate starts at 10:30. Do not play 2 guys in the same bracket. So let's do some top threes, my man. And we'll get up on out of here. I do like this slate, though, after going over it. So curious to see where you are on top plays. I'm going to be covering FanDuel while you're doing the DraftKings, so pricing may differentiate some of the names, but we'll see. What do you think at point guard?
Yeah, so right now, as of the way the slate is, I'm looking to pay down at point guard. So I'm looking like at Blakeney tomorrow, and I'm looking at Ian Clark, and Karis LeVert will be my top 3 right now.
Yep. I'm definitely going to be on Trey Burke if Moutier misses. Depending what Toronto throws out, I think Doral Wright was interesting. And I'll say Darren Collison against New Orleans. I like what he's been doing. Give me shooting guards.
Yeah, so I think that Austin Rivers is interesting tomorrow. I can go there at 58, and then I like see. I can go to Eric Bledsoe tomorrow at 7,400. I like that. And let's see. Find a diamond here. I'm going to go with Malik Monk, 3,500.
Yeah, good call. So, yeah, I like Malik Monk, Sean Kilpatrick, and give me Danny Green from the Spurs. All value plays. Small forward.
Yeah, Danny Green play, man. That's going to be one of my small forwards for sure. I like him today. So I'm going to go with Chris Middleton here. He's been playing well like that. I'm going to go with Alan Crabb.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and take some Danny Green.
Nice. I'll go Lance Stevenson, LeBron, and Denzel Valentine. Power forwards, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go, I'm going to say Davis and LeBron at my top two.
Mm-hmm.
And I will go down to, let's see. I think Ibaka's going to miss tomorrow. So I'm going to go with some Siakam. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, if any of those two bigs on the starting lineup miss for rest, I'll definitely be all over Portal and Siakam. Yeah. But with the information we have now, definitely could look at AD in a game that they definitely want to win. I like Frank Kaminsky, and I will say Thaddeus Young. What do you got at centers?
Yeah, so Miles Turner, and then I'll go to LMA, and let's see. I'm going to go with some Noah Vonleh tomorrow.
Noah Vonleh, yeah. That's a good value play, too, if he plays. For me, it's center. Probably going to take a look at DeAndre Jordan against Milwaukee. Take a look at Bam Adebayo, 4-3 against the Knicks. And I'll go Miles Turner. Bigs have done really well against New Orleans. But yeah, interesting slate. A lot of injury news we got to pay attention to. We got to see what we got to do. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, I just this is really interesting right now, and we're going to get like 6 or 7 injuries tomorrow that are really going to affect what we're thinking right now. So
yeah,
it's just a first look podcast. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a first look podcast. Like all the time when we do this and something changes tomorrow, we get the troll. So just want to throw that out there, guys. This is a first look podcast.
Yep. So if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like and share. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up and some positive comments. And if you're watching on Podbeam or iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. That helps the nation continue to do what we love doing, bringing you guys that DFS content. Johnny, man, thanks for joining me tonight. Probably catch you on the Y stream tomorrow. Break down this slate with the information at that point. That's going to do it, guys. For Johnny, for CK, the man, the myth, and for myself, and for the entire Wise Take Nation, good night.
Ship it!